theory of evolution the most spoken, the most controversial topic in the field of biology. Now, this theory of evolution was given by the scientist named as Charles Darwin. Now, why it's so controversial? Because he said that all the organisms on Earth have all evolved from one common ancestor. Like all of us, the plants, the animals, the birds, the fishes, we all share a common ancestor. Now, to support his theory, he's given quite a lot of evidences and everything. And he said this evolution happened because of natural selection. Now, natural selection basically means, in simple terms, survival of the fittest. When I say survival of the fittest, I'm not talking about the strength of the animal, but I'm talking that in the course of life of the animal must have got some modification in the gene, and the animal must have reproduced and passed the genes, modified genes, to their offspring. In scientific term, in biology term, also called as descent with modification. So evolution, in short, basically means that all the organism, though we have a lot of variety, though we are different in many terms, we all are same, and we all have developed, we all have evolved from one common ancestor, which was the one prokaryotic cell, which was there on planet Earth some 3.5 billion years ago. Now, it's a very important and a very controversial topic, as I said. So there has to be some evidences to prove this theory. So the scientists have put a lot of evidences which supports the theory of evolution. The first evidence is paleontology, which is basically study of fossil fuel. Now, how do I know that dinosaurs existed some years ago? That's because of their fossil remains. Now, scientists can study the fossil and estimate how many years ago that organism must have existed, or the structure of the organism. So how fossil fuel are formed is, when the organism dies, it's buried below the soil. The mud and the mineral and the silt covers the organism, and over a period of time the tissues of the organism is worn out, covered by the slit, and all that you get is the fossil traces. So basically the lower layers are the older layers, and followed by the younger layers at the top. So the organisms found in the lower layer existed before the organisms found in the younger layer. Now, records have found that the organisms found in the lower layer are quite different than the organisms found in the younger layer. Now, with the comparative study, we can estimate the structure of the animal, the age of the animal that we find in the fossils. A different way of finding the age of the fossil is through carbon dating. We have a complete video on carbon dating, so you can refer that for further information. Whales are mammals found in water, but when their fossil was studied, the scientists actually found out that whales were land creatures. They were land mammals. How so? They have certain structures where the hind leg is supposed to be, which is now become a vestigial organ for them. So from the fossil study, we understand that the whales were land creatures. Similarly, there were other organisms, like studying their fossil, we understand how their body parts are and how long ago they existed. Now, the next evidence is vestigial organs. Vestigial organs are basically organs or body parts which are rather useless or degenerated because of them being non-functional. Now, they can be useful for certain organisms, they can be non-functional for certain organisms. For example, appendix, which is found in humans. So appendix is basically a non-functional body part in humans, whereas in ruminants, animals, it's still functional. Now, appendix has some bacteria which is useful for digesting the food, the raw meat. Also, some more vestigial organs present in humans is the tail, the wisdom tooth, which was there in our ancestors and which is comparatively non-functional to humans these days. So these are certain evidences which shows that we all have evolved from the same ancestor. There is another evidence called as connective link. Now, connecting link basically means something which is connecting two different groups. So in the animal classification, we have a lot of animals like annelids, the aves, the mammals, the reptiles and everything. So there are certain animals which show similarity between two different groups, between two different classes. Now, for example, platypus. Platypus is basically a mammal, also has some reptilian characteristics. So platypus becomes a connective link between the mammals and the reptiles. Also, you have lungfish, which has lungs in place of gills. So the lungfish becomes the connective link between the Pisces, the fishes, and the amphibians. Also, you have some more examples like the peripatus, which is a worm. It is the connective link between annelids and the arthropodas. The next evidence is embryology. Embryology is basically study of the embryos of different organisms. Now, there was a drawing given by a scientist named as Ernest Haeckel. Now, in his diagram, you see that the initial stages of all the organism, he's taking fishes, he's taking mammals, he's taking birds, he's taking some amphibians as well. In the initial stage, you see that all the organisms, the embryos of the organism, look exactly same. You also see gill slits in the picture. Now, later on, gradually, when the embryo is growing, there is difference visible in the picture. So, looking at the embryological study, you understand that all these organisms definitely had one common ancestor. The next evidence is anatomical evidence, also called as the homologous structure. So, when we see the internal structure, the anatomy of a human hand, of the hind limb of a dog or any animal, also the wing of a bird and fin of a mammal, for example, whale, we'll see that the internal structure, the bone structure of all these four are going to be very same. They all have one bone, two bone, followed by the wrist bone and the finger bone. So these very detailed structure tells us that they all must have a similar ancestor. These body parts are used for different function, like humans use their hand for working or doing something, whereas the birds used to fly and the animals used to run, and the mammal, the whale, uses to swim in the water. Now, the function may be different for these animals, but the internal structure for all these are quite similar. Not just the internal structure of the bone, also the molecular structure of the animal is quite similar. Most of the living organisms on earth have DNA and RNA in their body. The DNA and the RNA structure itself tells how related we are. Now, if we closely study the sequence of the DNA, we'll understand more better how much the different species are related to each other. Humans and chimpanzees, we share 98.6% of our DNA. Chimpanzees are our close relatives, the close ancestors that we've evolved from. Humans and the mouse, we share almost 80% of our genes, of our DNA. Whereas humans and the housefly, 50% of our DNA is exact same. So this is more or less the proof of how we all are having common ancestor. Not only do we share genes from our parents, we also share similar genes from the very first prokaryotic cell that came into existence some 3.5 billion years ago, which is the grandparent to all the living organisms found now on Earth. Speciation also tells us about how evolution took place. Now, animals found in a specific region are closely related to each other. Speciation is the main reason why we have different animals in different continents. For example, in Australia, you have the koala bears, you have the kangaroos, you have thorny dragon and guana, which are kind of lizards, huge lizards. In America, when you see, you have animals like, you have the bird like bald eagle, you have American bison, you have American alligator. Also, you have the Gila monster, which is again a type of lizard. These are huge lizards. Now, when you compare with India, you have the Asiatic lion, you have the Nilgiri tahr, you also have the Bengal tigers, and also you have the Indian wall lizards. So, when you study about speciation, you see how all these animals are different, yet they are related to one another. So, evolution basically tells us how different all the organism on Earth is, and how incredibly similar we all are to each other. So, we actually have evolved from a common ancestor.